Hey everyone, and welcome back to another studio vlog. If you are new here, my name is Sheena and I'm an illustrator and digital content creator based in New York City. And the random guy that you see pulling in all these supplies is my fiance Dustin, and we have a lot of work ahead of us today. So this is actually a huge shipment that I made with IKEA. I mentioned at the end of the previous vlog that I'll be working on a new workspace. As many of you know, my Etsy is growing, which is such a blessing, but with that comes the challenge of making all of my supplies and tools fit into a pretty small New York City apartment. So what you all see is Dustin and my best friend in the whole world helping me build this shelving system. Now I decided to go with the Ivar shelving system, but I'll be sure to link all of it below. Now I'm showing you this random hole in the wall because a challenge we ran into that definitely did not stop us was the fact that we didn't have an outlet inside of the closet. So when it was time to run my Cricuts and my printers and things like that, I didn't want to have to unplug and roll everything out. It just made the process a lot less efficient. So what Dustin actually did was he drilled a hole in the opposing side of the wall into the closet. That way we can put a power strip into the closet and be able to run everything with ease and never have any cables like coming under the door or tripping us up or anything like that. Now I know this closet looks crazy, but it's because we've unloaded everything off of a previous storage unit that we moved into our laundry room, and I promise it looks better. It just looks crazy right now. So I wanted to show you all the hole on the opposite side. So this is on the interior side of the closet, and that's where my power strip will be fed through. Now, like I said, this is the Ivar shelving system, but I was lucky enough to have Dustin, who is super handy. He's really good with woodworking, and he actually cut down and customized the shelving for me so that it could easily fit in this closet underneath the hanging rack. And so all we're doing right now is trying to figure out where to secure it so that I have easy access to my printer, power button, and things like that, because obviously the doors get in the way. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was apprehensive about posting this because I felt like it was kind of off task, like it's not exactly studio vlog content, but Dustin thought it was a good idea that I do share with you all just to show you that you can make it work at any stage. You don't have to wait until you're in the nicest studio to make these things happen. So with a little bit of elbow grease and creativity, I'm able to now have an efficient workspace hidden away in my closet where I can still be a business owner, but be able to enjoy my apartment. So here's my best friend Devin just trying to help me get the printer and everything plugged in. It's crazy how well these shelving systems worked out. And we basically put the Cricuts into the shelving system, opened them up just to make sure that we had enough clearance. And that's how we chose our spacing. And overall, I just feel really lucky to have such a good support team behind me. And with Devin and Dustin's help, we were able to get most of this done within a day. Now, all that I'm doing here is piling all of my supplies and shipping tools into the shelving system. And I was gonna do like a shelving system tour for you all, but I felt like it would make the video so long. So let me know if you wanna see that maybe in the next vlog, but I'm just adding my envelopes and everything like that. I am shocked by how well everything fit. It is really perfect. Now, as always, I will have these items linked. I promise I will link everything that I possibly can from this video. So now moving on to the next day, I swear we were doing like painting and renovation work for like a week straight, but we have decided to repaint our entire apartment. So what you see Dustin doing is actually taking down my shelving system above my desk so we can get behind there, patch these holes, and paint everything. And we actually decided to paint everything white because, as you can see by the video footage, our walls are not white. So that's a whole nother process. So as we were taking all the shelves down, Dustin realized that he could actually make better shelves, not only above my desk, but in the living room. So that's actually what he's doing right now. Now, I do want to say that I know this is not typical. Not everyone has a Dustin at home who can just build shelves and do all of that. So feel free to buy your shelving from IKEA or from Wayfair, wherever you want to. I just had them custom built because I have someone capable of doing that, and I also really wanted to customize my space and create a workspace that I actually love. I feel like we've been in this apartment for at least 3 years now, and I've never been fully 100% in love with my workspace, and now it's finally coming together, so I'm so grateful. Now, as I mentioned before, Dustin was building a shelf for my desk space to go above my desk, but then because he already had the wood, we thought, why not build one for the living room as well? And to be honest, it worked out perfectly because, as most of you know, I am an avid book collector. I feel like my dream one day is to have this massive library that my future children can look at and go through. So we built a matching shelf to also go above our couch in the living room. So because these shelves are going to be floating and holding quite a bit of weight on them, Dustin actually custom built what we call a brace to kind of keep the shelf in place and evenly apply the weight across all of the studs in the wall. It sounds complicated, but because we've done this so many times, it just makes sense. It's just common lingo, but here we are installing the shelf and it worked out beautifully. And this video content is at least a few weeks old, and I can promise you the shelf hasn't budged, so it is just perfect. And if you all like seeing Dustin put all of this together, please show him some love because he worked so hard and he's really proud of his work. And also, if you're in New York and you ever want something built or fixed, I will put his information below as well. Now we're going to move on to some packing. Once we spent like the entire weekend doing these renovation projects, I had a lot of orders coming in that I had to fill. So that is what I'm going to do now. So part of the reason why I had to build a shelving so quickly is because I've started to carry art prints and it was just impossible to store everything and be efficient with my printer in one space, my Cricut in another. So this is how everything looks so far. These are some 5x7 art prints, and I just wanted to give you all a quick glimpse. And I'm telling you, it sounds like so crazy, but just having this one shelving system built has completely changed my workflow. Like, I feel 10 times more efficient. I know where everything is. Nothing is crammed in a drawer or stuck somewhere behind my desk. Like, everything has a home. And so now, even when Dustin helps me out and helps me pack orders, he knows where everything is. There's no confusion, and we can really just knock them out as soon as possible. Good morning vlog. So it is the next day. I was up super late packing up all of those orders. I'm definitely not complaining. I appreciate you all so much, but now I have to go ahead and drop them off at the post office. As most of you know, I loathe the post office. I hate going there, but I do have to get stamps, and there are quite a bit of packages, and I didn't want to leave them downstairs with the doorman for hours when I can just get them to the facility and get them scanned and sorted. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not looking forward to it because honestly, I don't enjoy going out as much because of the whole COVID thing. Like, as most of you know, I do have asthma. I have a respiratory issue, and it gives me anxiety to go out. Like, I literally feel like we're on an episode of The Walking Dead and I'm like going on a supply run, but it is what it is. I guess while I'm out, I can treat myself to some coffee or something. So with that said, I'm gonna get all of these into this bag and just kind of tote it with me. I have some of the bigger envelopes here, and I'm just gonna pile the rest of these in. All right, so it is jam-packed, but I got them all in here. It's not too heavy. This is actually a really nice bag. I don't know why I haven't used it. It's been tucked away in my closet for a while, but yeah, I'm gonna get these taken to the post office, maybe stop and get some iced coffee, and then I plan to come back and just do a lot of a cleaning in the apartment, just kind of getting things restocked, doing busy work. I don't know if I'll necessarily be back on camera right away, but I figured I would at least like give you all an intro and pop in and say hey and just thank you for all of this. I was not expecting to get this many orders, especially for my art prints. So I just really appreciate you all. And if you haven't gotten your art print yet, I still have plenty in stock. I will link my Etsy shop below so you can get yours, and I hope you like it. So let's not waste any more time. I'm going to get out of here. All right, got the mask, got the shipments. I just need my phone, some AirPods, and we out. Okay, so once I got back from the post office and kind of settled in and made dinner, I decided to move on and start finishing up some Patreon snail mail. I actually made these cute little custom sticker packs specifically for my patrons. It did take some time, but they're all starting to receive them and they really love them. And of course, they're of plants because I have a weird obsession with plants lately because I love my plant babies and they're really thriving. So I'm just cutting out those stickers now, and this is what that small sheet looks like. And I know, even though I've said this quite a few times, that someone's going to ask how I got them to be kiss cut, and you just have to turn the knob on your Cricut to custom. And that's how you're able to set a lighter setting and not have it cut all the way through. Now, usually I would just put some music over this time-lapse portion, but I actually decided to have a quick chat with you guys because I know a lot of people have been saying that they wish they could start a Patreon. They're not sure where to start. And my biggest tip and advice is to start small and then build up. When I first started my Patreon about a year ago, I probably had 1 or 2 people in the snail mail category. And so I was sending maybe 1 or 2 packages, and I would do the most and try to put as much together in it as possible. But now that tier has reached about 23 to 24 people. And so that's why I'm streamlining that process a bit more and just not making it as complicated as it used to be, because on Patreon the whole point is that you are sharing content and in return people are paying you. And if you're spending 20 hours a week doing Patreon snail mail and you're not being paid for that time, then you're technically just in a deficit and it doesn't make sense. So even though these things are fun and I love sending snail mail and communicating with my patrons, we have to remember that there is a transaction going on here. And so we have to be sure that we're actually being paid for our time, our supplies, and services. So even though I loved making the older snail mail packages, I have to be more efficient. And that's why I basically pack the same thing into every envelope. And either way, my patrons still love it. So basically, work smart, not hard. Okay, now moving on to the next day, Dustin had my shelf actually drying because he put a stain on it. And so now we're just actually putting that up. And I don't know about you all, but I think this is such a level up, like such an upgrade from the previous shelves that I had and the previous design. I'm still figuring out how I want to do artwork and all those type of things. But for the most part, I just wanted my calendar back up and I wanted my shelf. And so I'm going to put plants up there and maybe even some books that have to do with graphic design and things like that, and just really make it an office space that I am proud of. But let me know what you all think, and if you have any ideas of how I can decorate this a bit more to my liking. So seeing that the renovations took up so much of my time, I'm now playing catch up with all of my client work. And so here I wanted to show you all a project that I'm working on. I mentioned a few months back that I'm actually working with an author on her first book. She's actually a well-known blogger and friend of mine. And so this is just me working on a prototype for her back cover of her book. And I wish I could show you guys more and tell you more, but obviously it is not my project, so it's not mine to say. But I just, again, wanted to give you some insight on the process. And if you all are curious, I am just using Photoshop to get this done, but I'm doing most of my drawing and design in Procreate. And then later on in the day, I just decided to step out and get some fresh air and also get some new plant babies with Dustin. And we found this beautiful nursery a couple blocks from our apartment, and we definitely picked up like 7 plants on one day. But I appreciate you all so much. This is basically the end of the vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing me build out my new studio space and get everything organized. If you have any questions, be sure to ask them below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.